Welcome to our second annual New Year's Levee. We kicked off the tradition last year as part of the Canada's 150th birthday. We had such a wonderful year with so many happenings across our great municipality. We anticipated even more great news and events this year as more people learn about our amazing community. Following along with our strategic plan to fully engage our residents to determine their preferences, we began to hold online consultations with our community through our Connect Grey Highlands initiative. You can find the link to our website and sign up for the RSS feed there also. Or if you want to keep up to date with the latest happenings, you can now follow Grey Highlands on Facebook. Yes, we've entered the social media game with our staff posting regular updates about news, events, and happenings across Grey Highlands. We are also working with our community advisory groups and will be working on fully engaging our community. Our Tourism Advisory Committee spent last year improving market readiness and hopes to draw more visitors to our area this year. Following our tourism destination development plan in place, also we're developing a new seniors advisory committee that's got up and running this past fall of 2017. Members are hoping to help develop an age-friendly community plan this year. Council will collaborate with community leaders to look at community improvement plans for each of our 7 identified areas within our community of communities, with downtown beautification and facade improvement grants plans in the works. To kick off this initiative, our CAO's department will be leading the development of economic development strategy in partnership with the Grey Highlands Chamber of Commerce in Grey County. We've hired a consultant and will be getting underway on this important project very soon. The idea of strategy is to align Grey Highlands with the county's plan and establish partnership roles for the Chamber, so we may also work together in the team to improve the business climate in our area. The project will also determine the next steps for our community improvement implementation. Speaking of community improvement, we look forward to some shovels in the ground on several residential developments this year. We'll be seeing growth in Markdale as the Stonebrook begins its phase 1 and 2 this year with 85 townhomes. The earliest success will lead to additional phases 3 and 4 for another 80 to 100 townhomes to be developed. Devonlea Homes is already promoting sales for 390 house subdivision to begin this spring. Then Ridgeview Seniors Townhomes will build 15 units beside the golf course property, and several small developments in Markdale are also on the planning process. There is good news for 2 possible estate subdivisions, one in Maxwell and one in Eugenia. On the commercial side, we are working with builders for a commercial building on the north end of Toronto Street in Markdale. You may already seen the old food town has been taken down to make room for a downtown development. Our CAO is in discussions with several companies about redevelopment there, and there's also a chance that Tim Hortons will come to Markdale, and Stonebrook's Phase 5 will include commercial development as well. And of course, there's also a new Sobeys Foodland grocery store, which will bring $8 million of investment to the town and employ 170 people. The municipal budget passed quickly with less than 2% overall increase with the blended tax rate. For the first time, we had direct input from our online budget allocated tool, where we got to ask our residents what their priorities were. Some of the good news highlights including in the operation budget are a new model in waste management to provide additional weekend transfer stations hours to maximize our landfill sites, a full-time fire chief, new training equipment, and new fire master plan, a full-time staff person for recreation customer service, a plan to create local summer job opportunities employing summer students, an increase in health and safety inspections for our facilities, and a plan to increase the contributions to the reserves of future asset management. Also, on the municipal capital side, optimization of our council chamber and administrative office, accessibility initiatives for council and public meetings, software implementation and computer hardware, including a new mailing machine, a replacement of the flat roof at the Rockland Arena, a replacement of the furnace in the Flesherton Arena. And it goes on with a number of things that we have in our capital, along with various road projects, public utility upgrades, including Markdale Lagoon Headwaters project, and a new building to cover up the Flesherton Waste Management Treatment Plant, and a new water tower for Markdale, which is well needed. Besides our core services, the Grey Highlands Public Library and the South Grey Museum continue the Ontario Trillium Foundation Grow project, creating content for our community channel, you see sort of here, You may have seen the videographers out in the evenings, and you've seen them all throughout this year with the Canada 150. The South Grey Museum developed 7 self-guided experience tours for our community of communities last year on the Ontario 150 grant. The museum will continue this project by developing 7 interpretive wayfinding signs for each community this winter for spring installation. These signs are being created in a partnership with Grey Highlands Secondary School and matching funds from the Regional Tourism Organization, which is RTO7, and also look forward for them this summer. It will be a great opportunity to move visitors around Grey Highlands. Visitors enjoy the Passport to Grey Highlands last year. This was a Canada 150 community project in partnership with the community groups, local businesses, and the Tourism Advisory Committee. And we cannot forget our amazing poet laureate. We announced Sharon Sinclair in this role last year. Sharon is away on the sunny south for the season, but her legacy project, Grey with a Silver Lining, has been printed and available for purchase here today. We will have a celebration of the book in the spring when she is back. We have so many hidden treasures in our community. Some stay that way and some find their way to the surface. Like the time capsule that we found a couple years ago under the Markdale gates. We're reopening it today to peer into the history, so stick around for us to reveal all those goodies that are inside. I want to thank everyone here and all those who participated in the Canada 150th events that we had. We had a number of them this year. I want to thank Lynn Soberton, who was a chair, but Kate and Wilda, who were able to put that all together. And I think we've all heard of the successful evening we had in the Grey Highlands that wrapped it up. Everybody's still talking about that event. And it's even the warden, the past warden who came down from Al Barfoot, came down from Georgia Bluffs, spoke very highly. He says, of all the events he was at, that was one of his highlights. And so I want to give everybody a hand on all the great stuff that they did this year. So at this time, I'm going to invite Lynn and Wilda and Kate for a presentation.
Our MP, Larry Miller, would have liked to have been here, but he isn't. And he asked me to make this presentation to my committee and on behalf of him. And it's for the peoples of Grey Highlands. It says, congratulations to all peoples of the Municipality of Grey Highlands on your successful celebrations of Canada's sesquicentennial 2017. Please accept my best wishes along with the recognition of exceptional community involvement. Larry Miller, MP, Bruce Grey, Owen Sound. The committee will agree with me that every corner of Grey Highlands celebrated, and it was the best activities that I have seen since I came here nearly 30 years ago. And I have to congratulate everybody, those that organized, all the volunteers, and those that attended, because they're no good without people attending. So I have to thank everybody, and this I'm asking the Mayor to accept on behalf of the committee, and I'm asking that it hang in the library for everybody to see.
Well, it was great to see all the people out today. I know the weather's been a little catchy, but it's all about people coming out and have a good time and chatting and seeing what's happening with our municipality with regards to the upcoming things, along with what we have achieved in 2017. Certainly the highlight of today was the time capsule and a galvanized box that, as you heard Bob, who dismantled the gates, found 2 years ago when he carefully removed the stones, and you could see where somebody took very careful attention to saving it as it was. And then he approached me about that box, and I saw it. I said, "Wow, that's a pretty neat find." So it's been in my office for about a year and a half, and so I know we talked about opening it when we built the new gates here in Markdale, but I felt it was important that we move on with finding what those contents were in that box. So I thought, when I was talking to Kate and Wilda about planning for the New Year's levee for this year. I mean, last year was a hype about Canada 150 and all that great things that we did last year, and so I thought, well, we need to continue that that fun stuff at the second Mayor's Levee, so I thought, why don't we open up that time capsule? So today we had it at the end of our event. Wow, they really made that 10 bucks seal that all those contents, which is good because you could tell it was well sealed because the contents, the paper was very much well preserved. I asked everybody about what everybody thought the contents would be, and there were pictures, and somebody, I think Ben did say about the copy of the 100th anniversary, which was well preserved and which was in there, but there was a bit of money. You know, it's funny, you know, when we build our next gate for Markdale, we'll have to think about what we're going to put into the time capsule, but having it, ability to open it today, we would have, at least we have an idea what we can put back in, a future time capsule. But I think it was, the real mystery is we found out that the 100th anniversary, 1949, 10,000 people were to be becoming part of that event, which is pretty amazing, you know, you think back then. But that letter, 1961, that's got a mystery, there's a bit of a mystery there. So some of the thoughts that I had, or conversations I had after we opened it, after, you know, everybody was viewing it, was, could have been, and I heard this as a rumor, and I don't know for sure, but the gates maybe had been moved. So Highway 10 came through, and I talked to one gentleman there, and he said, I remember the gates being a lot narrow at one time. So maybe what happened was that maybe the gates got moved, so they reopened the time capsule because it seemed like the time capsule was well sealed, but then it looked like it was soldered at the top. So maybe that's the answer to the 1961 letter. Maybe that's when the gates were moved. So we'll have to do some more investigation on that. So anyway, it was a fun day, and it was great. Everybody, you know, as I looked around out there, and Kate and everybody else, and you know, having Stan Baker here, was, I think that was a highlight of his, probably for a long time, for Stan to sit there and see and remember and know all those names of the people that were on that committee that had that 100th anniversary. And I think that's really just makes it really a special day, just having Stan being part of that, you know. So at the end of the day, it's really fun, and everybody was, you know, hanging in there and watching, and there's some young kids there too. So I heard, hey, that's cool, you know. So that makes it fun too. So anyway, it was a fun day, and I'm glad everybody were here to enjoy. For those that couldn't see it today, it will be on display at the museum for everybody to enjoy, and that's what it's all about. It's all about the ability for people to come out and see what was in there and hear that. And so Kate will put a great display so people can go out and look at that. So yeah, it was a fun day.
Now, what would you put in next time capsule?
Well, that's you know, you look back 20 years ago, and you had cassette, you had CDs, 8-track, and today it's you download stuff. So you know, technology keeps changing so fast. I think we need to put a cell phone, an old cell phone in there, because probably 50 years from now they won't know what that is. Who knows? I think, you know, the technology is changing so fast, and things change so fast. I would put a cell phone. I think photographs, but then photographs are even becoming harder and harder today because now everything's on your phone. So the battery won't last long enough in the phone in 50 years, so they won't be able to revive it. But I think photographs, the newspaper is quite common. I mean, we still have newspaper, but it's interesting, we're losing newsprint. I mean, as we had that announcement in the fall where all those newspapers are going by the wayside, right? So I think a newspaper will be important because that could be something that people, you know, won't see maybe in the future, or who knows. Paper itself, who knows? Maybe we won't have paper, who knows, right? So I think we have to things that are today. Certainly money. Money is something that I think is very, you know, paper money along, coins, a loonie, a toonie, we're definitely going to throw that in there. I think we'll go to the public too and see what other people will think to want to put in there too, because it's got to be special too. Good. Thank you very much for being here.